policies. Raise your hand if you think President Trump's policies on the economy would be better for your family personally.
Either voting for Donald Trump or considering it?
For sure. A lot of my friends are obviously my age, so we're a little younger. We've only voted once, for a president. And Trump is kind of all we know. And they're kind of Trump and Biden. They're like, well, we were broke with Biden. We weren't with Trump. And that's
Today, we are coming to you live from the crucial swing state of Michigan, where yesterday we spoke with union workers, a key voting bloc in the state, about what they care about and, just as importantly, what they're just not paying all that much attention to.
So, again, my name is Connor. But February 6th?
January 6th.
So I remember that day. I know he was the standing president. I'm not familiar with the charges that are being brought against him for that. I'm not following that charge or I know there's multiple court cases going on. I'm just not familiar with it.
And do you think that doesn't sound like it's going to be a factor in deciding who to vote for?
No.
If you're watching this show tonight, odds are you watch a lot of news. We thank you for it. Odds are you know quite a bit about January 6th and the litany of criminal and civil cases brought against Donald Trump. But this election is likely to come down to just a few thousand voters for whom keeping up with political news is not a priority. So how do you reach this vanishingly small group of voters who don't fit into traditional political models, who don't conform to typical political profiles, who are frustratingly elusive, and who might end up determining this entire election?
Make the economy better when you're in office. Then they'll realize, just like they're realizing when Trump, the economy was good. I should vote for that guy. Not all that hoo-howling and all this red, black, white stuff they be doing. White supremacy this, 2025 this, none of that. When y'all in office, do good. Simple as that.
So as much as these undecided voters are unsure about the candidates, however undefined their decision-making process appears to be, you can see what issues are foremost in their minds in this critical swing county. But what is maybe just as interesting is what was not on the minds of those undecided voters. Issues that have received a ton of media attention in this state and in this election. Issues like abortion access and Donald Trump's lawlessness, covered exhaustively by the national news media. Those were not the kinds of things these undecided voters were focused on. Does anybody have any idea about what's happening in the federal courts relating to Donald Trump's the January 6th event and what's going on there with Trump? Wait, I'm sorry to keep coming back to you, but so you haven't talked to me about your level of interest in the criminal charges and so forth.
February 6th?
January 6th.
So I remember that day. I know he was the standing president. I'm not familiar with the charges that are being brought against him for that. I'm not following that charge or I know there's multiple court cases going on. I'm just not familiar with it.
That doesn't sound like it's going to be a factor in deciding who to vote for.
No.
Okay, so when I say January 6th, what do you think?
Oh, I just remember seeing it on the news, like all the riots and stuff. Don't really know what it was about or what happened, though.
How did it make you feel when you saw it?
I don't know. I don't really feel any way about it. People showed their emotion, I guess. Probably in the wrong way, but it happened.
Who here has been following the decisions from the Supreme Court? Raise your hands.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm seeing only a handful. Who here knows what the Dobbs decision is? One person. Okay, that's super interesting.
Shit. Money!
What about abortion? Is that an issue that you think?
I think it's the woman's right.
Yeah.
Nobody should be able to dictate that at all.
And what do you think of Trump's position on abortion?
I think he's anti, isn't he?
Yeah.
He wants to control that.
Yeah, well,
I don't think he has any business even talking about it.
What about abortion? Reproductive choice. Is that something that you guys think about? Is it something that concerns you?
I think each side is a little too crazy. They need to meet in the middle.
What do you mean by that?
I think they go too much one way and then too much the other way.
So you think Democrats are too open-ended on abortion and Republicans are too restrictive?
Yep.
Okay. What about you? Is it something you think about?
Same as her.
Same as her?
I think there's some middle ground there.
Something you think about?
I don't know.
You don't have to? Well.
I don't really have an opinion on it. I haven't looked into it or even thought about it, really.
It is a stunning reminder that stories the national media covers intensely, stories which certainly matter to a considerable number of Americans in general, that those stories are not necessarily the deciding factors for these elusive undecided voters, especially undecided voters who don't get their news from traditional media and who may not even be particularly interested in current events in general. For those voters, what matters most, what may ultimately determine their vote this year, are the conversations they have within their community. In this case, that means fellow members of their union, of Local 85, and especially those members who have made up their minds and who understand the stakes of the 2024 election.
Is it weird that she keep going up to men to ask them about that?
You know, everyone has an opinion. I understand she's trying to see what different
opinions is.
Yeah,
and liberals are lacking men right now.
At the end of the day, I don't really think it's as crazy as everyone makes it seem. I understand that first guy's take, but I really don't think it's as deep as they make it seem. Like, you asking union workers on abortion, why would they?
They don't give a damn about none of that. January, none of that.
They trying to make sure that they money
$1,
saved.
$2, $3, $4, $5.
Yeah, they trying to make sure that money saved, the economy's good, and they have a chance to live the American dream. I mean, I'm sure that's their number one thing. So any presidential candidate that's going to give them the best opportunity at that is going to be who they vote for. I don't understand why they bringing up all this other shit.
He's going to be a dictator. Well, he can't. That's the simplest answer is that. Like, that's just what the answer is. He can't be a dictator. So what are we talking about? Yeah, like, well, he can't.
Who here is voting for the first time? Is this anybody's first election? You guys back here. What's sort of made its way across your radar? Any stories or issues or positions?
Mostly just immigration.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? What about immigration have you been paying attention to?
There are thousands and thousands of illegal immigrants coming across the border every day, and the vice president has done minimal work to fix that, based on what I've seen. So I'd like that to change.
Do you feel like Donald Trump's going to be better on that issue?
Based on what we've seen on his first 4 years, I do believe that he will be better on that, yeah.
Are you leaning towards Trump right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything that Vice President Harris could do at this point to change your mind?
Not particularly, no. Unless she changes her stance completely on fixing the border. That's no.
This is your first election?
Yeah, it is.
And have you been paying attention to stuff?
Some things, but as of right now, it's kind of hard to know what is true and what's false as far as both parties are concerned.
Like, what issue matters to you the most?
Definitely are issues concerning democracy and what was discussed before the border.
What about immigration concerns you?
The influx in illegal immigration is affecting a lot more than just the people, but our economy, we're losing jobs for the people who live here. People are, running out of work, and in return, it's making life as a whole for the country harder.
Do you feel like one candidate or the other is better on that issue?
Like I said, I don't know what to believe from what I'm seeing from multiple news outlets and what comes across my news feed and whatnot. So I'm not super opinionated either way.
How do you think you're going to ultimately decide? I know we talked to one gentleman who said, I think I'm just going to kind of go with my heart on election day.
As the election comes a little closer, I think the more I see and the more truth that ends up coming out, I'll be able to make a more educated.
He voting for Trump. He didn't want to say it.
How are regular citizens just sounding smarter than what these people do on the media, bro?
Well, the media, we know that, bro.
They do, bro.
Everyday people just sound smarter because it's a real opinion. You know what I'm saying? They're giving you really what they think. And we're everyday people. So we just hear it and we're like, well, damn, that's what we think. On the media, they're going to push one way or the other, and they're going to push their opinion and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So obviously it's like, well,
they have
how
to change
can you
that.
relate to me? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Because if they continue down this route, they're destroyed, bro. Because, they're just not credible anymore. And it still seems like they are, because you see, these people just don't watch the news, bro. Like, people don't watch the news. So when you do watch it, it make it feel like, oh, shit, shit, this could be real. So that's what I'm saying though.
The news is for the house
A lot of
moms.
people not thinking for themselves. Like he's saying, like, you know, we don't know what to believe. And some people probably just watching it and just automatically believing that shit, man. And it's sad. And I just feel like it just, what point did they stop lying? Like we have to figure out a way for it to be all truth on news outlets.
Why haven't they truly believe they're not lying though?
No, they know
That's the
they're
biggest
lying
question.
about certain things.
That should be the
How do
big
you lie
question.
about 800,000 jobs created?
Yeah, how do you lie about Project 2025?
Also saw that there were a large number of union workers, particularly younger union workers, who were undecided. And throughout our discussion, it was clear that many of those undecided voters saw immigration and the southern border as a major concern. They were also particularly motivated by concerns about the economy, including inflation and the rising cost of housing.
Do you think the housing is an issue?
Yes, I actually just recently purchased a home. So, yes, I do think that it is too high. It's just the cost of a livable, move-in ready home nowadays is just absurd, I think, in my opinion, to where before I feel like you could buy a house for a reasonable price and it not have to have a ton of work put into it.
I just recently purchased a house as well, and this house has gone up $50,000 in the past 5 years. So, I mean, just looking at the prices in the past 5 years, you know, why has it gone up so much? What can we do to bring it back down to what it was?
We're fortunate enough, our wages been able to keep up with inflation, but a lot of people, they haven't been so fortunate, and they have to choose between paying bills, buying food, putting food on the table, you know, so I think that's going to play a big factor in this election.
Like he said, if you can't afford to have a house or buy your family food, then nothing else really matters.
They voting for Trump.
They're cooked.
All of them basically voting for Trump.
Michigan might go for Trump.
They're cooked.
If these are the voters that are supposed to decide the election, I think we know which way they're going to go based on these answers.
Yeah.
I mean, like let's not sit here and BS. Like at the end of the day, we need to make America livable and the American dream accessible to those who are born and raised here. And that's just the bottom line. I don't understand why it needs to get any deeper than that.
Yeah. The media makes it deeper than that. Well, the Democrats do. So.
Well, they try to make it a bigger issue. You know, they try to throw in other things that are not like.
What about the dictatorship?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
They're
Like,
not looking at all.
What about the people coming for a better life? What about me coming for a better life?
We've been having a headache on here for nothing, really. Cause like these people are not even looking at it. Like they really just like. Well, that shit doesn't really concern me. And how many people are like this in America? Probably 90%.
I would say 90. I'd say maybe 70, 60.
Yeah.
85.
Yeah, a lot of people are pretty.
A lot of people watch this crap and eat it up.
Only people I think that's really watching this is probably the at-home moms and grannies.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to be interested in it probably, though. But, I mean, hey.
But they do have, like, every hotel or every, like, business area, they do play CNN. Like, it's always playing.
Yeah, it just, like, seems like none of the stuff they prop up, these voters gave a fuck about. Simple. The guy at the barbershop, he said, well, hey, I mean, the money. Seems like all these people give a fuck about their basic necessities in life. And the Democrats aren't providing that right now. So, I mean, I think we know where it's headed, guys. They want Trump.